Hi everyone, this is Vykerman, aka Vyke. This video is intended for Yaksol, and not sure which. This is basically just remember Vyke. This is the next number in the video for Destin, the original video game concept that we're working on with chromaticity. I was saying it wrong this whole time. I was saying chromacity is chromaticity. So yeah, so I'm at work. I barely made it just in time. I got all my data off of both phones just in time for the meeting, and then I also had to work. We had to come up with a new Discord just so I can overcome my technical difficulty problems and issues and mental health complexities that contribute to not doing too well with technology unless it's like a video game that I really like. So anyways, I'm Vykerman. You should know me by now. Hopefully, if not, we'll go reference our older records and pre-chords of our Destin project brainstorm sessions. And we have with us, it looks like, Natsu.
Boy.
And Nitro.
Hello.
Hi, Nitro. So, Natsu asked a great question, but let me make sure I'm good on my end because I want to answer this question. But y'all don't have to wait on me to get my stuff together over here. Would you like to hear Natsu, would you like to ask the question again? I'm totally comfortable talking about it now because this is important stuff.
I was asking you about your original project you were just talking about with me.
Yes. So, okay. Whoa, oh, I've moved it. I was like, what did I do with that? Okay. So, great question. Now, the original name of the anime that I originally came up with when I was very young in Florida, South Florida, it was called Namqodranx. Like N like Nicholas, A like Alex, N like Nancy, C like Capcom, and O like Oscar. Namqodranx. And ranch spelled R-A-N-C-H, of course. So it was definitely a mixture of Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like all the card captors, summonings in Final Fantasy. Like, I was really inspired by all of that. And also, last but not least, you're wondering where Ranch came from. Monster Rancher. Because my younger cousin really loved the Monster Rancher. And we even played the game. There was this game on the Game Boy Color, and it had like the coolest battle music ever. Like, I fell in love with that battle music. So from that point on, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make an anime that's like Pokemon, that's like all these other anime, not necessarily Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon, but still, you know what I'm saying, anime, right? Because I had another anime project that I was doing that was way more like Dragon Ball Z, and I talk about that with y'all often, right? So as time went on, and eventually I lost all my stuff in New Hampshire, including all my drawings, all the environments, all the characters, a lot of their Nenko companions, the drawings that I had for the Dynamins, which means dynamic diamonds. You can pronounce it just diamonds, but they're pronounced Dynamins because they stand for dynamic diamonds, and they explode when you summon your Namco, sorry, copyright, Nanco with an N, ally. Also, of course, I will point out that Namco was very similar to Namco, like Namco and Capcom, like Namco Tekken. Let me see, Namco made Soul Calibur. Namco made a whole bunch of awesome games. So Yeah, so I was really inspired by how the awesome fighting games that Namco had always come out with. Oh, the newer Dragon Ball Z stuff when Namco and Bandai came together. What? What? So, of course, I was inspired by Namco and Capcom, and then I'm inspired by Pokemon and Monster Rancher and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all these summoning style animes, particularly, right? So, that's how I came up with the name Namqodranx when I was a kid. Then, after I lost everything in New Hampshire, but around the same time, I started to develop a new name for it because I wanted it to sound more original and I did want to dodge copyright infringement. I was older now, so I'm like, yeah, let me try something different. So, we came up, by the way, I did not come up with everything on my own. I always give credit to every little tiny detail. When friends and family help me out, even though it is my original ideal, I'm always like, oh, family and friends help me with this ideal. My sister, my cousins, my mom, and even my aunties and my brother helped me a lot with coming up with the storyline and like the names of the places in Namqodranx when I was a kid and stuff. But the cinematography and the original storyline and the names and the concept, very similar to Digimon and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, that was me, right? As a kid. But everything, like a lot of the other stuff, but even like names of characters and places, that was heavily me too. But I got a lot of inspiration from my cousins, right? So when I got older, now the official new name, drumroll YXO, are y'all listening on YouTube whenever you watch this, since this is a pre-chord, not considered alive. Now I'm gonna move forward with the name Namqodranx, or Namqodranx, right? It's spelled N-A-M, like a name, what's your name? Code, Q-O-D, ranks, or ranks, R-A-N-X. That was funny. So that's what it's called now. And it's pretty much the same concept, a lot of the same characters and everything. But as I got older, I realized that I wanted the animation style to be different and reflect more of my action-oriented favorability of anime and video games and movies. So I want Namqodranx to reflect that. So that's where we're at. And also, just to give you a little synopsis, if this B would leave me the F alone, Namqodranx, the reason why I changed it to Namqodranx, and it still sounds similar, but it's an original name, is because, for a whole bunch of different reasons. It's diverse because it's like a name code ranking system. Like, oh, what's your name code rank? You know? Like, it's supposed to be kind of like funny, but that's not officially going to be canon, in my opinion, right now. That's not what it is in my head. But when I realized that, I was like, oh, that could be a concept or a thing. And maybe we could make it canon in the future if we actually make it, believable and immersive. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about Namqodranx. You had other specific questions, and I'd rather get to those questions before I rant and continue on. But yes, it's going to be a very awesome original anime that's very Pokemon style. But I heard that in Power World, the pals use guns or whatever too. I don't know about that in my anime particularly, and video game for Namqodranx. But what I'm saying is the characters do use, the Namqodranx allies do use weapons, specific type of weapons developed on planet Nynx. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but I also noticed that the newer Pokemon, the Pokemon trainer can move around while the Pokemon is battling. That's awesome too. That's more my style. That's more what Namqodranx is gonna be like. More like Final Fantasy 12, So, yeah. That's all Vykerman has to say for now about Namqodranx, my original wannabe Pokemon, wannabe Digimon, wannabe Yu-Gi-Oh style with heavy animation style influences, especially in action sequences from Cowboy Bebop, like the flow of Cowboy Bebop and Avatar: The Last Airbender and Samurai Champloo. That's the style the action scenes will flow out of. But let's not forget Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach power-up moments, right? Like, those moments will definitely happen and be awesome and intense and beautiful animations and stuff. And meaningful. Let's not forget meaningful. So, yeah, that's where we're at with Namqodranx. Yeah, what do y'all think? Y'all got any questions about it?
Seems pretty straightforward and pretty cool.
What's that? Nitro? Or Nitro?
Well, specifically with the guns and stuff and all that, how do you expose with the execution? Because really, it's the execution that separates influence from copyright. And you say with all the fight scenes, is the fight scenes going to be with the summons, the monsters you use? Because if you use more fight scenes with the people, you might as well not just call it the Namqos.
I think it would be better if you elaborate on what you mean by execution, I guess. But I have an idea of what you mean. But I would like if you elaborated.
The line that separates from straight out stealing. Excuse me, straight out stealing to having its own identity.
Oh yeah, Namqodranx definitely has its own identity. Yeah, I had a whole storyline. I had characters. Namqodranx takes place on planet Nanx. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a whole thing. The people that became born on planet Nanx, the humans that became born there, they're considered Nanxlings. They're not even really considered humans. So that's a whole nother thing. Oh yeah, but yeah, so in our last, or one of our previous meetings, we talked about influences. Remember that?
Yes.
That's pretty much it. That's why I referenced all those other anime and stuff. Strictly appreciative and influential appreciative perspectives. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Because a lot of it actually does come from my appreciation of martial arts itself, which I'm not sure if anyone could ever really legally claim.
I like martial arts.
Copyright of martial arts or whatever. But someone would beg to argue. But yeah. No, that's the whole reason why I just said all that. I don't know if maybe you didn't catch that. Yeah. That's the whole reason why I gave you my personal story about it. And I'm recording it here for YXO. And if you read the description of YXO, my YouTube channel, it would make more sense to you why I explained it the way I just did. So yeah, that's all I can really tell you about. I can read it for you if you want right now, the description of YXO. If that would help you understand where I'm coming from, would that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm still my own original person, and I still have my own original style. And people are going to love my anime and video games because of my style, my originality, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure I point that out, make that very clear to y'all, that, I'm only even comfortable talking about how much I appreciate my influences because of many different reasons, including the fact that we, as a Destin project group, shared what influenced us, which also involves copyright, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just want to make sure, because that applies to all of us, not just me. So the description of wrong channel. I love that. I was on my wrong channel. So the description of YXO reads as such: the focus of this channel is to promote a nonprofit network where different entities are able to collaborate on various projects that rely on intellectual property conceptualizations. We do not claim to be legal advisors or experts on any topic or discussion. We do not claim other entities' copyright, intellectual property, monetary, or any other liability in regard to completed and incomplete conceptualizations, logos, trademarks, patents, and any media personnel, or revenue that may be heard or appear here. Thank you very much, YX Soul, aka Yak Soul. You can play that again, because yeah, that's the description. So yeah, to answer your question.
Yeah, I just recently discovered the soundboard.
So yeah, play it again. Yeah, that kind of, yeah, that kind of cuts all jokes and all any indirect and direct accusations that I am here to steal other people's ideals. I'm good on that shit. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Somewhat.
well, yeah. I mean, if you're making a product, you gotta have consumers, right? So, I don't know. Like, what's your point of making a product, you know?
And just for the reference for the future, just say anime style game, because if you tell people it's an anime game, they're gonna just automatically assume that it's based off an already existing property. And you could mislead a lot of consumers with that.
Well, first, it kind of sounds like you're trying to police the way I'm speaking, but
I'm not policing, I'm just trying to keep you out of trouble.
no, I appreciate that, but I would prefer to know exactly what you're referring to when you say, because I don't remember me exactly saying I'm making an anime video game. I didn't.
Yeah, I did like 3 times now.
Okay, well, it's recorded if I did. But no, when I say anime style video game, I mean video games that are influenced by anime, that have a style.
That's what I said, anime style.
Mm-hmm.
You should say anime style, not anime game. So you're not giving off the wrong impression to more impressionable people.
So the other thing that I want to point out is when it comes to Namqodranx, the thing is, I can say that about my property because I can say, hey, this is an anime video game because it's based off of my anime, because Namqodranx was originally supposed to be an anime. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Only if it's already existing.
Well, it is in my opinion because it's my anime that I've been working on since I was a child. So it doesn't matter how long someone else hasn't seen one whole episode of my anime, it's still my intellectual property. So I can call a video game that's based on my animation an anime video game because it's originally an animation style was the focus. Like, I didn't start making video game ideals until I was probably like a teenager. Like real video game ideals that I was sitting down with friends and collaborating with, you know? Yeah. So for the longest, I worked on anime style ideals first because anime was to me more closer to a book, more closer to manga, comic books, you know. So I wanted to work on something that looked like a storyline. I wasn't really thinking about video games, even though I loved video games so much and I played them all the time. Does that make sense to you all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the context of where I'm coming from with these legality thing. So I would just also be careful about, you know, what you're trying to say if you're not like a legal expert or something like that. If that's not your practice, not to just be careful. You know what I'm saying, Sensei? Because I appreciate you trying to look out. I'm just, we're not even there yet to where, you know what I'm saying?
Hello.
I'm gonna agree to disagree.
Yeah, and I will agree to disagree as well. Yeah.
Oh look, Goose is here.
Hi, Goose.
explain more about the gameplay?
Of what, Namqodranx?
Yeah.
Well, Namqodranx will definitely be more adventure style. Yeah, it would be more adventure style. I want to call it a see there, go there, but I want to have specific areas where it will be preferable that you progress in the game with specific abilities so that you can get to
So it's
those
an
areas.
RPG?
It could have RPG elements, but I would call it action adventure RPG. Third person.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Especially because of the dynamic aspects of the main character, Nax Johnson. Like, he's very first of all, he has I think I just named it too. Let me make sure I say it right, because it's like I made an acronym for it. Let's see. These bees are going crazy. It's like UF something. So I even made an original term for this because, like I said, I've been working on this thing since I was 6, 7-ish years old. So the thing that I noticed with Nax Johnson is he has uncommon fine movement techniques. UFMT. Also, like a lot of people in the anime are gonna call it umph. Why don't you put some umph in it? So I literally have the so-called power system, or the energy system, like, of Namqodranx. It would be umph. You don't have any umph? Oh, Nax Johnson, the person with the uncommon fine technique super speed. I bet you're not even that strong though. Like, that person will talk trash to Nax. Like, who do you think you are? Just because that's your umph. I have flight umph or something, or I'm super smart umph. I have umph, put some umph in it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I love it when you come up with the terminology that like you can kind of like use like regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, you like it? Let's go. Yeah, so Nax Johnson is the shit. Yeah. He is. He's gonna be the shit. But he's gonna go through struggles and stuff. So, yeah. So the gameplay style would be, I hope that answers your question, definitely a mixture of action adventure with definitely leveling up aspects. I would definitely cap it at 100, or maybe even like 123 for fun. That would be cool. I like that. I think I would cap the Namqodranx ally and the Nangsling or human ally would be like have their own leveling system, but maybe both of them can cap out at 123. That would be cool. Yeah, or maybe the Nangsling humanoid characters can cap out at, like, the non-Namqodranx characters could cap out at like 60. Maybe that'll make it easier for you to focus on your Namqodranx allies. You know what I'm saying? Because to also alleviate, or what's that word, allude back to what we were talking about earlier, yeah, it's all about the Namqodranx. All about the Namqodranx. Yeah. So I want to make that clear that yes, they're gonna be interesting characters, and the characters are going to be dynamic and have their own storylines as well. So, I definitely ran into that problem. I'm glad you brought it up. That's a good sign. Because I was like, oh, well, maybe it should be like Namqodranx allies, or maybe Namqodranx should be the name of the humanoid characters. Like how people say, duelist or Pokemon trainer, or jockey, linebacker, right? So
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, well, maybe Namqodranx could be the
No term
name.
for the user.
Right. So I was like, and then the Namqodranx could be called Namecode. That would be cool too, right? And then I was like, no, I like Namqodranx. I like the way it fits. I like how it's dynamic. I like how I prefer that they have that space. They're precious like animals. They're endangered, you know. Like I said, I learned from my influences and also real life experiences from how much I do love and care for non-human allies and friends that I've had in the past. It was very traumatic every time I lost them or moved and had to give them away. Very traumatic. So Namqodranx is also special in that sense to me, for me, in a whole bunch of different ways. Yeah. So that's also why there's no way people can dodge that Namqodranx is originally my original shit, because it's my way of coping with my allergies to animals, even though I love them, my fear of bugs, even though I respect them and I used to fuck with them so much more when I was a kid. I was such a little deviant. So that was perfect. But yeah. So that's where I'm at with Namqodranx. It's very personal. It's very my social security number. How is it someone else's social security number unless they mean me harm or they really do? It's just, it's just business practice when you're trying to take someone else out. So that's why Natsu was bringing it up. So I'm glad that she brought it up. So yeah. That's where I'm at. Any other questions about the very awesome, originally an anime, but it would never be considered an anime because I was not born there. That would also be an awesome video game called Namqodranx. Any other questions about the gameplay or the anime or?
Well, if it could have been animated in Japan, which studio would you want to be animated?
My own original studio. I already have a group of friends and family, my cousin. So like the other problem legalities would have with my legalities is that, like I already mentioned, it's not all mine. So all of the anime ideas that I've had, I've always shared them and been straight up with, that's not a good word to use. I've been honest and forward, whatever that word like is without that word. I've been transparent, with my intentions, and I would tell my family and friends, hey, do you want to work on this anime idea or video game idea with me? You are gonna make millions, I promise you. I'm gonna write it down and blah 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 blah. And yeah, so they would also run into the problem of it. There are certain ideals and certain characters' names and things that are infused into these anime that are not going anywhere, that belong to other folks, family and friends and affiliates that have intellectual property invested in our anime as well. So yes, I want to be our own original studio. That is the primary preference. The anime and the video game, or both.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cool anime. Yeah. I'm excited about the Dynamins. I'm not really hearing any questions, so I'll just go for it. The Dynamins are really gonna be cool. I'm excited about them. Because the reason why they're dynamic diamonds is because they're usually infused with the element connected to that Namqodranx. So if you're about to summon your Namqodranx and you whip out your diamond, like the earth will start shaking, rocks will start like, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe I'm not sure how it should go yet. I feel like it should come from the diamond. Like I feel like rocks should start coming out of it, like little pebbles and stuff, small little pebbles, like small rocks, maybe. And then when you finally throw the diamond, it explodes into a whole bunch of, like, once again, small pebbles or rocks or something like that. Like that could be cool. And then the actual animation that I actually drew out an animation for a character that was summoning a water bedbug based Namqodranx. She was a villain, and she's like a humanoid Namqodranx ally. So there was two characters. I almost forgot about them. Oh my gosh. We made like a wolf humanoid character. I had to make one. And then we made, and they were newer too. I originally made them in Colorado. It was much later. I was much older, and I made these 2 original characters. One was like a cat-like character, and she was a villain. And then we had a wolf-like character, and he's a hero, of course. And then, but they were fighting. And then so I was drawing. I was focused on that scene, and I actually drew out with not the best drawing skills, y'all. I actually drew out the scene where he summoned his like air, of course, air bird, right? Air bird, right? And then, well, the element of that bird was air, basically. Anyways, then she summoned her water, but like I made it so that his summoning of the arrow, which is the, of course, air sparrow. I mixed up the words and on purpose. That was something else we were working on. I had already drew it only 2 frames for him, so it was kind of looked like he was already ready because she was already antagonizing him, right? But her scene I zoomed in on, and she was like, oh yeah? Like I made her say something, and then with not the best drawings, but it would look so cool if you put it together. I drew her arm, it zoomed in on her arm, throwing her dynamite. But before she threw her dynamite, I drew the effects of the water coming, like gushing out of the dynamite that she was about to throw. Then when she threw it, it's like a splash of water. It was like bam, and then the water bed bug came out, and then they were about to fight, and that's all I drew. And then I lost all of that in New Hampshire when I moved from Colorado to Georgia to Florida to Georgia to New Hampshire. So yeah, that's what happened. Yes, it was sad, but here we are talking about it, and it's gonna be on YouTube. Check us out. It's gonna be great. So yeah, that's just one aspect of why Namqodranx is gonna be so freaking awesome. So yeah, so maybe this is a Namqodranx Destin crossover session, huh? I have to do that.
I don't know, you have to convince me more with that.
Oh no, I'm just talking about for me, the way
I'm very picky about mine.
Okay, I'm talking about how I'm going to label this video. But yeah, I feel you on that. Thanks for letting me know, and thanks for asking about it and being curious about it and stuff, and engaging about it. Cause now,
do you plan on doing the BGM art on it as well?
VGM art, whatever I need to do, whatever I'm able to do, whatever I have the skills to do, whatever I'm able to learn fast enough in a timely manner that I'm able to retain, not just spit back out and adjust as time moves and technology improves. Yes, I want to do whatever, however I can make my animations and my video games come into fruition, because they've been sitting for, it feels like, what is it, over 30 years now? Yeah, it'll be over 30 years once I'm 37. Because, yeah, by 7, I was already drawing so much. My aunties and my mom and my sister and my brothers and my cousins, even especially my younger cousin, who's very involved with my original 2 animes. He's, like, right there. Kind of like how you and your friend, who is it? Is it Goose or Nitro? That Goose, you originally co-founded all these ideals. That's kind of like how my cousin was to me, but then so were my other cousins and my sister, my brother, and then my friends in Miami, and then my friends in Atlanta. Zoom in on Atlanta, woo! Man, like, I made so many different musical friends, animation friends, and gamer friends, and all other types of artists and such. We literally have this team waiting in Atlanta, which is why my best friend really prefers to always be and go there and base and live there, which I'm okay with as well for her, you know. Yeah. So my team in Atlanta, they definitely have not forgotten their original characters that they made, the intellectual property rights that they do have the right to claim for those characters, the powers, the abilities, their storylines. Yes, we can touch and dance with the storylines and stuff, but anyways, but that's what I'm working on. Yeah, so when I label this, it could still probably be like Destin first, something. Then at the end of it, I'll put Namqodranx, like surprise intro or surprise introduction into Namqodranx. Yeah, because I'm definitely going to be working on that. This was perfect timing the way everything worked out today, yeah. Yeah, I have legal proof in a different way now. Yeah. So y'all have any other questions about Namqodranx?
Not from my end.
Tell me more about the other people you said are participating.
Well, I can tell you about Blue, my best friend.
Blue?
Yeah, Blue. What? Okay.
That kind of blue.
Okay. She's like very musically inclined, but she became like my road dog in video gaming and anime, and we always talk to each other about all the different anime and video games. We always compare and contrast and appreciate our differences, despite us talking shit about our differences in anime preferences. We do meet on a lot of anime. She has so many original anime ideals and movie ideals. She was more focused on anime and movies and music. The thing is, though, she's actually the one, besides my closest cousin and my brother and some other folks, like my sister, they're the ones that convinced me, like, hey, Vyke, you could just, like, make video games as well, or just focus on video games. You really like video games. I know you like anime, but you really like video games. So, yeah, that's what happened with that. I gotta pause this. Like, yeah, like Discord automatically muted me, which I love that. That's good. I always wanted to know. Yeah, clap. Yeah, so what were we talking about before we were interrupted?
Blue?
Yes, okay. Who were we talking about was the question, sorry. So, yes, Blue is my best friend.
Blue.
Yes, Blue. So, she's also very much heavily involved in being my legal representative. So I think it'll be great if you and her if y'all can meet somewhere, because I've tried this before. It doesn't really work for some reason. But if you would like to get to know her, and y'all can chat about where our company is legally about things, if that makes sense. Does that sound good?
Why not?
Okay, good. I'll ask her if she's okay with that, and then I'll send you both each other's info, vice versa style. Okay? Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, she has her style is very much focused on like I want to say like Matrix style, but even then it's more like CIA government cover up, like mass, like the stuff that yeah, her stuff is very like realistic based, if that makes sense.
I was about to ask about the aesthetic of the ranch.
Namqodranx? What do you want to know, Natsu? What do you want to know, good friend?
What's the aesthetic like? What would the soundtrack be like?
Okay.
Just what's the setting stuff?
So, you're using... Let's go with... How about Vyke you made an original character, or maybe this is an original character in Namqodranx. Okay, pay attention, y'all. Pay attention, Vyke. So when you're watching this is important. This is the most important part to me when a friend or a family member or an interested entity asks me about these type of questions, and I start sharing this info. And I used to do it for free. Now this is a non-profit. vibe, but we're still focused on protecting everyone's intellectual property rights, okay? So, Vyke a popular Namqodranx character, is traveling through one of the original locations on planet Nynx called Divinia. It looks like Dyvinea. Because one awesome reason why Nax Johnson is so important is because he's very connected to a lot of the original humans that were escaping the drama that was happening on Earth. So his family actually made it, or maybe not all of his family, but a lot of his family made it to planet Nynx and help establish what was known as human civilization before. You know, I'm not sure if it's going to be centuries or millennia or something like that. Most likely millennia instead of just centuries. Of humans trying to get used to planet Nynx, but they did it differently. They learned from Earth. And they understood that these interdimensional beings called Namqodranx live there, right? So anyways, long story short, Nax Johnson is connected to all that stuff. And let's just say that, right, so Nax Johnson is originally born on planet Nynx. He's a Nynxling. But he's not that. There's some twist in the storyline, so we'll get there. He is technically a Nynxling born on planet Nynx, but we'll get there. Okay, so he was born in Divinia. So remember how I was saying that diamonds, spelled dynamins, like it looks like dynamite or dynamic. Diamonds is where the name originally came from, right? Because that's also connected to my other anime, the reason why I like that word dynamic. So we'll get to that, okay? Y'all following?
Yep, I'm listening.
Great. I appreciate it. We're at 41 minutes, 49 seconds. So, Nax Johnson is connected to the Dynamins, and he's also connected to Divinia, the actual land where people live, and they've been living there for centuries. And there's a random person, there's a random teenager. Nax Johnson is just like this person, like who is this main character? Main character syndrome, right? Of course. But it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be deep. The thing is, Divinia is also connected to that word dynamic, because Divinia is known as the place of dynamic vines. So that's why the city that he's from is called Divinia. It's also connected to, of course, one of my other nicknames, but we won't go there right now, okay? If you hear, y'all know my other nickname, so yeah. Cool. So yeah, I was trying to be original with that name. The place of dynamic vines is why it's called Divinia, spelled Dyvinea. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Good. So, I only heard one person say yup, but that's okay. So, that's the backdrop, part of the backdrop, a large part of the backdrop of Namqodranx, the storyline of Namqodranx. Y'all still following?
I am.
Okay, great. Also still just heard one person, but I'll assume both are still listening. So now we're getting to the aesthetics.
Yeah.
So, no, we're here at the aesthetics. So, Vyke Natsu starts out with his original, very original storyline that we're making right now on YXO. Welcome over, y'all. So, the storyline is something happened, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, this is conceptual. I'm sorry if it sounds superficial. Oh, Nax did that again? Oh my gosh. And your storyline starts. Then you talk to NPCs, you know. Did you know that Nax did this by this point in the storyline? Who is this Nax Johnson? Like, what is going on here? So, Vyke Natsu also, of course, has his own original and important storyline. So, that's kind of like what's the backdrop of how your storyline starts. Because you were born and raised as Vyke Natsu on planet Nynx in Divinia as well. So you have a main character syndrome going on with this character that you're playing as in this original game called Namqodranx that we're making right now with Destin and Chromatasy. So you start out, you choose what your safety device is going to be, and you basically what color your equipment kit is going to be. Unfortunately, equipment kits are very standard. You know, maybe you can customize it later, but choose a color and go. Your equipment kit has everything. Okay? Your equipment kit has your safety device, your tent. It can store shit tons of shit inside this box that you just carry around that's durable and like weather resistant, all types of shit. Of course it can break. It's not like indestructible, but equipment kits are very standard. When you become a Namqodranx ally, it's on. Like, you need an equipment kit. What are you doing? It's not necessarily your Pokeball, but you know what I mean? It's your equipment kit. So, but your safety device, that is when it becomes a lot more, oh, okay, yeah, this must be an anime. This must be a video game. Because, but also the equipment kit is also very sci-fi-ish, because so much shit can fit in this thing. It's like, how is that even possible? So that will be the scientific aspects of, you know, Namqodranx. Does that make sense? But you're just choosing items for Vykerman right now. Y'all following?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, Link's choosing, you know, you waking up, you know, Kakariko. The original Kakariko was on 64, right? Okay. Anyways, I'm just giving y'all a reference. But let's just stick to Namqodranx, right? So you find out what's going on. There's stuff going on in the storyline, but you're still focused on getting your items together for Vykerman, the original character for this Namqodranx game. And you go out into the town of Divinia, and yes, it feels very 3D. You go at your own pace. You can actually slow Vyke down and walk, talk to NPCs. You know, maybe you'll have a little, I'm not sure what the currency is going to be called yet, you know, all types of stuff. You're checking Divinia out. Then an event happens. This event showcases the action, but of course you can activate this event. But you're getting a feel of the aesthetic, and let's back up. So the aesthetic of moving around in Divinia would be very much like I don't know if I want to say it right away. I don't know. Let's go with I'll ask you. How about I ask you, what's the most 3D open world game where you feel like you can really control the movements of that playable character very fluently and adjustably? What's your favorite game that feels like that, where it's adventure or action, but you can actually slow down when you walk into towns, but it doesn't feel controlled, you know? Jump on roofs and stuff if you want.
Probably Ratchet and Clank and Spyro.
Stop!
I was gonna say maybe between Assassin's Creed and Breath of the Wild.
Wow! What great... Okay, can I ask y'all one by one again? I'm sorry. Natsu, do you mind going first, Sensei?
Probably Spyro, the Dragon, and Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, I caught that, and I did catch what you said as well, Nitro, but I'm just making sure that YXO catches this.
I mentioned that the first things that would come to mind would be Breath of the Wild, then Assassin's Creed.
And Assassin's Creed. So not only are all those like games jumbled in my head, when y'all said that shit, wow. Northern Serendipity, and then freaking Southern Hospitality coming together. So this is what I'm saying. Assassin's Creed definitely popped into my head when I thought of other games that people liked a lot. Assassin's Creed was like, oh. And I also definitely enjoyed the movement style and all that of Assassin's Creed. A lot. Like, so much. So, and then, Natsu, oh my gosh. Sensei threw out Spyro and Ratchet and Clank, both Insomniac games, by the way. Insomniac video games. Insomniac games, video games. Were made by Insomniac Games. So, yes, I was definitely thinking about a certain Naughty Dog game. Now, I was trying not to go there right now because I'm Vykerman. I don't know how many people know me yet. I just made this nickname up for the Midwest. Didn't make it there yet, but used to live there. But it was supposed to be a surprise. And here I am, Vykerman in the flesh. So, yes, Nax Johnson would definitely... Vike Natsu would definitely move around like, I want to say definitely more closer to a mixture of Assassin's Creed and Ratchet and Clank. Just because I'm going off of what both of you said, and we're collaborating, and I want to meet y'all somewhere, so I feel like I would meet y'all at Assassin's Creed and Ratchet and Clank for sure. What? Yes. The Namqodranx action would be maybe a little more intense like that, more along those lines of intensity. I know because so you walked around the town, you talked to some NPCs. I wish these bees and shit would get away from my bag. You walked around, you talked to some, hey, what's up? You talked to some NPCs, and then, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to learn the hard way because it's our first time playing that. You went to a certain part of the town, and it's like, bam, event, like, storyline, shit. Are you ready? So, in this storyline event that happens, you witness the first battle happening between Nax Johnson, two of his allies. I'm not gonna tell y'all their names yet, but two of his allies, and they're fighting an enemy. Now I'll ask you, what?
It's raining again. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Are we good?
Yeah.
Now, I will ask y'all another question. Huddle. House meeting. Do y'all think we should play as Nax Johnson and one of his allies, or both of his allies, or whatever? Or do you think we should witness what's happening between Nax Johnson and the enemy that most likely is not gonna like you, Vike Natsu, and gonna try and take you out and take your life?
I really couldn't tell you because I really don't have much context to work with that, and it's your story, so.
Oh, thanks. What the hell? Thank you. Okay. What about you, Nitro? What do you think? You think we should take the helm and have our first little mini battle? Like, or should we let this witness the fight scene and see how let the computers show us how a fight scene, how the combat system is in this Namqodranx based game?
I would say
you
would
downstairs. Put my phone downstairs. Oh.
Sorry, Nitro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, wow. I would say that it would be better to have the player kind of have more input right from the get-go.
Okay.
Rather than have an automated experience when it comes to these kinds of games, because you want to be able to hook them the faster in.
Okay.
Rather than having someone be shown you could do a little bit of hand-holding in a way for you have a tutorial enough, or at least a little bit of a guide to give them.
Of course.
So they're not so depends on the audience you want to, right? Something enough that so those who are not as intuitively inclined at picking up games and mechanics right off the get-go, just to give them a little bit of guide, say a menu, a little pop-in. But for the most part, you would want to have the player be able to have more autonomy over themselves when it comes to these kinds of combat games.
Okay.
Especially.
Yeah, and thank you, Nitro, and thank you, Natsu, for giving me y'all answers. Just listening to you while you were talking helped my brain and my mind go in certain directions that I think are positive. I don't know, and I'm going to share with you why. Because, there goes a bird again. Did it go? There it is. Yeah, I love catching the birds. Flying across my head, over my head. Especially when they don't poop on my head. Okay, so thank you Nitro and thank you Natsu because I like there was even kind of a contrast. There was even kind of just a contrast just then. Because Natsu's like I don't really have much input on that type of what people prefer or whatever, I don't know. And Nitro, I appreciate your in-depth response because as you were talking, it helped me remember that I probably would prefer that. Like, and then I would prefer that the player play as Natsu, and like maybe the battle's too overwhelming, or you actually win. You help Nax and his friends win, and Nax is like, what? Well, who are you? Hey, how come we never met before? And then y'all might go y'all separate ways or whatever. That would be cool, right? To have in a storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would want, and I don't know, do you agree with that, Nitro? Because I would want, because a certain game that ends in hearts, like there's the teasing of you can play with this character for just this little bit thing was like, oh man, like that was a little sad. But yes, you get to finally play with a certain character and a certain game, Hearts, chain of what, where you finally get to play as a certain character that I loved a lot. So, yeah, I like that, but I don't want to do that to the player. I would rather them, I would rather them have the, they're just getting used to Natsu, and then all of a sudden, bam, Natsu has to fight. But here's the reason why I came up with the concept of, I just want to explain this to you. Are you still listening, Sensei?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Both of you answered. Ha! Success. Sheesh. Okay. The reason why I said that is because Nax and his friends are already kind of established. They already have at least one or two Namqodranx that they're allies with, Namqodranx friends. So that's why I kind of said, hey, let's put, the player just real quick in the shoes of Nax and his friends fighting this enemy that also might be using the aid of Namqodranx allies. That's gonna be some intense shit. Then, Nax has his safety device already. His friends have their safety devices. Like, it's on. And you get to, maybe you could choose between one of them, or just choose Nax and then do some other thing. I don't know, maybe Nax can be the leader. Maybe it's like more turn.
Oh, okay. So you're saying have it, you as a player take control as like the more experienced character.
Right, from the anime, from my original ideals. Right.
Rather than like actually just like watching it, like straight up no input, like a cutscene.
Yeah, and you were. Oh wait, is this still Nitro?
Okay. This is still Nitro, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I was asking, which one would you have preferred? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Even if the player.
Question just a little bit then, because I assumed it was like you watch the character as in like you the player are watching the cutscene of this all fold out. Okay. That changes it a little bit.
Yeah, because you can also even experience the battle scene as a observer, but it's really like, hey, the computer is directly controlling this person, and the other computer programs are controlling the other two characters as if they were just your NPCs. So imagine if you were this computer player, Nax Johnson, but you're not put in the position where you have to fight. You can just witness when you put a controller down and then the game will show Sonic the Hedgehog playing and running as if someone's playing after you leave the game for too long.
So... Sorry, I think I'm getting a bit lost.
That's okay. What I'm saying is for the first battles, the first scene in Namqodranx after Natsu is just walking around and you're checking out all the little areas, but you go to one particular area and then the cutscene happens where you're introduced into the battle system of this video game, right? Are you following me
Yeah.
so far?
Yeah. Okay.
But so that's where we're at. Then now that fight scene happens and now you're introduced into the battle system, I was asking, do you prefer that the player either have a choice to choose between witnessing how the battle system goes or partaking in that battle for the first time, witnessing how the battle system goes? Either they have the choice or they don't have a choice. You know, that covers like all the other options is what I'm saying. Because then the other options would be they have a choice and then they can choose to be a part of that battle or just witness it. But if we designed it in a way where they don't have a choice, if we designed it, would we make it so that they are thrown into the battle so that they can learn, or they just witness it, the battle system, as if it was an actual them playing? How should that go? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand it a little bit better where you're explaining it like that. I would probably say to have it so that. I mean, I think it would be a bit better if you have it, if you didn't have a choice.
Yeah, me too.
It would be thrown inside, like as if they were thrown into battle rather than watching it.
Yeah. But I still want people to have that option too. If they just want to watch and witness how it goes,
Yeah.
and then try it on the second battle, or when you're finally free from Divinia, and you're not locked in for the storyline tutorial aspects of the game, you know?
Okay, so this being the tutorial battle, you want to give them an option to have it play out as if they don't know, or you can just like skip through it, kinda, is what you're saying.
Well, I definitely want them to. So the cutscene goes into the battle scene.
Yes.
So the battle scene is actually the gameplay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now the player would be like, would you like to? Do you want to take control of Nax Johnson in this battle and learn a little bit about the battle system of Namqodranx, Destin Cross, or do you want to witness the battle system and see and watch the computer explain kind of like a tutorial?
Okay, so basically two different approaches to tutorial where it's either we're a little bit more hands-on with a bit of guide, or just like completely like shows you all in automated form.
Yeah. Like, do you want to take control of Nax Johnson and try out the battles? You know, we'll give you tips as you battle, or do you want to just witness the battle and let AI or whatever control Nax Johnson, and we'll still give you tips and show you how to battle while the computer is battling for you?
Okay,
You
so
could make
on
the
that
option.
end,
You could like I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
okay.
Natsu.
So
There are some. I've seen some Tales games do this. You could put in. I've seen this in Suikoden too. You could put in the option of deciding whether to take fight in the battle or decide not to, and have the story like go into different routes based on the action you take.
Oh, well, okay. Am I confusing y'all with that? I apologize. This is just simply for gameplay mechanics, like elements.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Oh.
you could have the gameplay be affected by the choices you make in the story.
Oh, that'd be cool
I'm just
too.
saying that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah, no, that is cool, Natsu. That's cool. Thanks for adding that. Why not? Maybe you get more like distance attack points or, abilities because you chose to watch, or something. That could be cool. Or something. Yeah, but I'm sorry, Nitro. I feel like this is why it was very difficult for me to like really try and fit into the video game industry as it is now. But it's not your fault or anything. or Natsu's fault.
Sorry.
No, I was saying, it was hard. It's hard for me to explain what I meant about, because we're talking about the aesthetics of Namqodranx.
I apologize.
That's okay. What are you apologizing for? That's okay. Apology accepted. Yeah, so that's the aesthetics. The beginning is just a bug. Get out of here, would you? Stop it. Stop it. Get out of here, guys. Get out of here. I'm not even wearing cologne or anything. Come on. I put on oil way earlier today. Okay, but they can smell it still because they're insects, I guess. Anyways, y'all. Yeah, I really appreciate y'all, Wow, we took a whole session to talk about Namqodranx, and it will not end, but, I just wanted to lay out as much as I could before I just went on about how I think it should be, and I started referencing a whole bunch of different video games on each point of how it should be, so that you don't feel the way you felt just earlier, Natsu, So.
Oh, I understand the point for it. I'm just saying I was just giving my idea because I can't choose when I have an idea when I'm playing a game and I don't know what decision. So I usually just let the story run its course by either making a choice. When I can't pick something officially, that's what I would just do.
So, in the battle system, two different things happen. You'll first try and understand or comprehend or react in the proper timing of a Namqodranx battle or a Namqodranx ally and Namqodranx versus the same pair battle. Does that make sense?
I don't really understand.
Okay, I'll try and explain differently. So, imagine... Okay, actually, I will use a reference for a game. You know how in Final Fantasy 12, and I think and 13, you can summon, but then your character, everyone else disappears, but your character in that summoning still fights side by side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? This is only a reference, y'all.
Not particularly. I have to see it to understand it.
Oh, you've never played Final Fantasy 12 or Final Fantasy 13, maybe?
Oh, I played those, but I played 13 once and it was terrible.
I love 13. So maybe you didn't get as
I will say it's a nice stagger mechanic.
Yeah, the stagger's cool too. Yeah, hey, yeah.
It was used in FF7 Remake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Still haven't played that yet. Well, how about Final Fantasy 12 or 10? Because I was going to give you contrast. Because Final Fantasy 10, once Yuna summons, everyone goes away. And yes, Yuna stands there, but she does not fight. It's only the summoning that fights for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah, because in Final Fantasy 12 and 13, particularly 12, because you can't gestalt in 12 with your summonings. In Final Fantasy 12, once you summon, your allies go away, but it's your character and the summoning. So you have just one ally that's super powerful, but it's dangerous, like if your life gets too low and the summoning is too focused on destroying the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what will be interesting about Namqodranx is at the beginning of each battle, first of all, you gotta like, figure out, is this a Namqodranx only battle, or is this a Namqodranx ally battle? You know. So is it 1-on-1, or is it 2-on-2? Is it human and Namqodranx against human and Namqodranx, or Nextling, or is it, you know what I'm saying, just Nextling and Namqodranx against? Is it just Namqodranx against Namqodranx, or is it Namqodranx ally and Namqodranx against Namqodranx ally and Namqodranx? So after you figure that part out, then you have to gauge what type of enemy you're going against, right? Because remember, we're talking about Ratchet and Clank, like Assassin's Creed action, right? Very in your face. Assassin's Creed seems more tactical, like a little slower, not as free. Like, this battle is taking a while. I don't want to be in this battle. Ratchet and Clank is more like, what? Oh, I got the right weapon for that. Like, move it. Like, what? Ratchet and Clank's action is a little more like, oh, I can run around and do this. Whereas Assassin's Creed, once you get into a fight, it's like, hold up. Like, wait, where you going? It's scary. I know. So I definitely would love a mixture of that, right? So what I'm saying is, once you figure out, okay, is this going to be a Namqodranx only battle, or whatever I just said a million times over and over, then you can decide what type of, usually each person only has one safety device, was the plan, to make it easier, because we want to focus on the Namqodranx. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so, then you use your device, and then you have to decide, say it's a Namqodranx ally and Namqodranx tag team against the same opposite team. You have a wannabe sword style safety device, right? This wannabe sword style safety device is obviously a little more short range. So how are you and your Namqodranx ally going to use your abilities to get closer or use long distance attacks to attack these mofos trying to take you out? That's kind of like the battle system. And then I want to make it so that you can switch the switching aspect, maybe, because I'm literally just not making this up as we go. Like the switching between weapons, only breath you get of a break and Ratchet and Clank style thing would be cool to have in Namqodranx. I'm just, right now, I'm like, what would we be switching out? Maybe we'd be switching out abilities. That would be cool. Maybe we'd be switching out things in the equipment kit that you gotta keep moving, like Kingdom Hearts. You gotta keep moving or else it's over. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I said it. I was trying not to say Kingdom Hearts earlier. But yeah, you know how you gotta keep moving in Kingdom Hearts or else you're gonna get hit still, you know? Or block, defend, and parry. Kind of similar to that with Namqodranx, you know? But definitely I would like the freedom aspect and the oomph to be respected, where each character has their own oomph. That would make each storyline and each gameplay mechanic very awesome and very replay value worthy. Also, I'm definitely open to a Namqodranx MMORPG, yeah. Oh yeah, don't even get me started on that. Yeah, so in that sense, yes, that's the battle mechanics. But say it's a Namqodranx only battle, right? I don't know. I feel like I would want it to be way more traditional, like turn-based, you know? Like, I think if to differentiate, I think it would be so badass if like Namqodranx only battles would maybe favor like the Final Fantasy 13 gameplay style. battle mechanics. Because that would be difficult to make, to focus on just one-on-one style battles. But with Final Fantasy 13 gameplay mechanics for Namqodranx. Because then people would be like, well, why can't you use those mechanics when it's a Namqodranx? You know what I'm saying? Namqodranx and ally versus Namqodranx and ally battle. Why can't you do it for that too, Vykerman? You know what I mean? Then fans will kind of be over that. But I would love to show the contrast. I think that would be cool to just show two different strategy styles in one game with different gameplay mechanics. You know? That would be cool. Or Final Fantasy 10-2. Because if you stand there and you don't press anything for a while, yeah, the girls will die. Or whoever you're using. The enemy will, even if they're weak, eventually they'll take them out. Does that make sense? But it still seems turn-based. It's like, they call it real-time strategy or real, like, it's like action turn-based style. Is that style of Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 10-2. And I think Final Fantasy 8 as well has a very, yeah, you can stand, you're controlling the characters, but if you don't press anything and attack to win the battle, you'll get taken out. Versus how in Final Fantasy 10, you can kind of just, wait, think, then make your attack. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I also wanted to also point out is, of course, last but not least, the one that's technically not my personal favorite, but the best in my opinion, Final Fantasy to this day, to me, is Final Fantasy 12, because that would be so cool to have that style for Namqodranx as well, influenced, not stealing, like something similar to their gameplay mechanics for battling system, like the flow of how you move in and out of battles in Final Fantasy 12. I don't know. It's the best. I love it. Yeah. But Final Fantasy 13's battle system, man. What? Man. What? Yeah. So that's what I was originally, because like for casual gamers and stuff like that, I was trying to be more open to giving them a play style to choose from when playing this Namqodranx game that I would love to share with everyone. I would love to have it come out in way more than one form. Or maybe there'll be different variations of the story, or there'll be a different story for each style of the game. We could even do that. Because Vykerman sounds like a cool-ass character. Just saying. What? Yeah, and we could definitely stick with the Ratchet and Clank influenced, Assassin's Creed influenced battle style for the collection system, the movement, the storyline, the flow of battles in Assassin's Creed and Ratchet and Clank is just, there's a reason why they're so popular and so successful. So yeah. Yeah. So I wonder what else is coming into your minds and thoughts and brains when you're thinking about, I would like to just let this resonate, if it does, hopefully, and let it marinate with y'all. But I would like to hear, that was a lot, and y'all, we literally progressed. We literally made so much progress together just now on this original video game. How do y'all feel about it?
Honestly, it's your game, so I'm not really sure what to feel about it. All I hope is that you're successful with it, and the idea lands enough for me to actually want to see it.
What's that? That last part, sorry? You said you're amped up to see it?
Isn't it? I said, all I know is that I hope that you're successful with that idea, and I hope it lands hard enough for me to actually want to see it too.
Okay, good.
I'm just a very picky person.
I think we all can be picky sometimes. Everyone can be a little picky.
And I would have to just see it in its actual form to make any judgments about it.
Kind of like the same with Destin.
Anyway, we've been. I don't think any of the other members are coming today, and I have to call it in because we've been talking for about 2 hours, good 2 hours now.
Okay, well, thanks so much. Alright, well, that's it, y'all. Now y'all know. Now we're gonna get to work on this as well. I was not expecting to talk about Namqodranx this much. But
And
I
think
also
we're gonna
was.
have like a vote off, like doing rescheduling the weekly meetings so everybody can like be in attendance.
Yeah, probably.
Alright. Alright, B. Come on, B. Get out of here, buddy. Alright. Well, I appreciate y'all listening to all that and helping me bounce ideas off and everything. So, yeah. And you know, the feeling is mutual for Destin. So, yeah.
Well, if nobody else has any questions, I think that concludes this week's meeting.
Alright.
Yeah, no questions for me.
Well, keep me updated on if y'all decide to change the time and stuff.
Okay.
Alright, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Well, okay, sorry y'all saw a lot of personal stuff. Like I said, this is a non-profit channel. You know. Ugh. And talking about Namqodranx is so huge to me. Like, Namqodranx is one of many things in my life besides people that I care about and physical things that I could ever think to care about. Right? Especially like personal things, you know, like your ID and stuff like that. That's Namqodranx to me. You know? So, you know, that's all. I'm gonna let y'all know, you know, everyone's not gonna be on the same page as you all the time. They're not gonna have the same enthusiasm. They're not gonna be encouraged for the same reasons. They have different drives. They have a different purpose, maybe even. So, you know, yeah. So, it's good that they ask questions. You know, they want to know. But if you're just asking questions just to come at me for negative legality purposes, then just don't ask. Don't even go there with me. You know, what's your purpose? Is it, you know, you can claim it's because you're trying to get to know me, you're trying to support your team members and stuff, you know? And I can't force somebody to be enthusiastic and stuff like that about my shit. So, but if I'm part of something that's focused on entertainment, I'm more than enthusiastic about it in a different way. If I'm agreeing to help in a project, which is the only reason why I'm trying to help out with Destin, is because I'm actually enthusiastic about the Destin project. I want to like invest. I'm investing in it. I want to help out. I want to do what I can. But again, it's like I had to explain to her Which is why she said what she said to me is, it's my video game. It's originally my anime. So I had to break it down to her. Like, yeah, it's originally my stuff. So, yes, I'm going to use certain terminology that's dear to me, not how the world wants to see it. That's when it becomes a legal thing and all this other stuff. They're going to have to deal with my family, my best friend, other legal entities that have backed me since I was a child. Like, what are you talking about? We know what Vykerman, Zor is talking about. We know exactly what he's talking about. We've known him since he was, before he started even thinking about what a drawing was. We were watching him, and we know legally what he made. That's legally intellectual property that belongs to him, including titles of names. So the fact that I went through all that to explain all that, this is definitely about to go on my hard drive. Let me see, like right now. So I'm about to put this on my hard drive right now, because that's the type of mentality you gotta be careful with when you're dealing with people. But that's why I openly still talked about it, because I'm like, look, you're gonna ask these questions and I'm gonna share with you what's going on, but you might not be as enthusiastic about it, and I was prepared for that. It's it's not preferred, but it's not disappointing. I'm not disappointed. I just wanted to make sure we're clear. I do have my own ideals, and I do have my own style that I'm going to respect, that I appreciate, and that I'm influenced by. So there's no reason for me to lie about what I'm influenced by and what I appreciate a lot, and what people will be able to notice and say, huh, his teachers did well. That's what I prefer, instead of, he stole from his teachers. That's not why I took them on as my teachers. All these anime companies and video game companies, people that I've never met. I barely remember all the names of the creators of these video game companies and video game ideals. I remember the name of the company, I remember the name of the video game, I remember their work. I appreciate their work. I love and appreciate them because they're most likely a fellow sentient life form, usually, that really cares about other sentient life forms. So yeah, that's naturally gonna happen. But like your work, what you prefer, we look at. It's not I appreciate that. But when an artist prefers that you do recognize them, that is why I prefer to be respectful and say, and joke. And I'm joking when I say, I'm still in this ideal from, I used to say that all the time when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. Obviously being sarcastic and joking was the thing, which is why I'm 37 in December this year, about to be like, what? That's old news. So I appreciate where Natsu Sensei is coming from. And at the same time, I have experience in defending myself from that type of issue. That's ongoing. I'm not perfect. I don't know. I don't have it all figured out. Got it all figured out, Vykerman? No, never did. That's why this new nickname is also kind of like intellectual property. Because Vykerman is an original character. I'm actually about to be on my way right now to continue to endorse Vykerman. A character. A persona.
We need to stay together when it's
That's all. A persona representing art, like YXO. That's why I recorded this. This is important that I'm doing this. That's why I like pre-chords. And even if it was a live and I ended it after they left, would still feel the need to do this, because Vyke needs to know this. Vyke needs to know that he fought really hard for intellectual property rights and intellectual property protections and intellectual property monetary investments that are going to continue to do good things for myself and my community while I'm here, and it's going to continue to grow while I'm here, and then after I pass. So what it's like, I get, you want to play my video game. I got you, Natsu. I got you. We're not there yet. even if I pass away, someone else does it after I pass away. I'm not there yet right now. So if we can get there right now, and I can get a team, and I can get the finances, the for-profit finances to do that, or even the non-profit, obviously, finances to do that, we can do that. But if not, and all you want to do is ask questions about my conceptualizations and ideals that I've been having since I was 6 years old, that's all you're going to get, unless you're ready to put in the same amount of work that I'm ready to put in for Destin, your original video game ideal. It's like, what? If you're not there, then good. Kindly don't ask about it anymore. But if it comes up and other members of the Destin project talk about it, then yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. But now that I know Natsu is not interested in it, then I'm good. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We're gonna talk about it here on YXO. And now all my other channels, definitely. Especially if I upload this before I go help out my or learn some things from my sensei. Once I'm ready to go learn a whole bunch of things from my sensei, very soon I'll be going on doing that. It's over. I'm not gonna have time to focus on people just asking a little bit, something about like my anime. Like, no. Like, you're gonna be ready to work on it. You ready to come up with a video game idea connected to what we're talking about, your original video game idea, Destin, on this series, or are you on some other shit coming at me with some legal shit? It's like, no, that's not like, okay. So this has been Vykerman, your video tradesman for YXO or Yakuso. We have officially announced Namqodranx. I'm gonna try and title this correctly. I'm gonna go do that right now because then I got less than an hour to do that. Then I gotta go to work and then endorse the character known as Vykerman. That's me. So also connected to all these things we talked about, every single little animation idea I've ever talked about, every single little video game idea, everything, books, everything. Like profits is gonna have to come through me still. We just have to do it legally, and then like, yeah, just legally. And then as long as we're doing it legally, then I will think about for-profit ideals outside of my non-profit intellectual property rights that are connected to Namqodranx that I officially changed to Namqodranx. Alright, so yeah, I'm your VT for Yakuso, and we just had this was a Destin. So if I can remember, this was originally a Destin project brainstorm session. But not to ask about Namqodranx. And I was like, okay, so you're asking, but you're not interested. So it's like, why'd you ask? So that's a little suspicious, and we're just gonna, move along here on YouTube. YouTube is where this video is going to be uploaded to. So that's where, that's in the description. I had to read her the description that we have on YouTube of YXO because unfortunately, she might not understand the brevity, like I don't even know if that's the right word, the depth of like how much I've already put into all my work. So it's like, if I'm gonna help someone else out and you want to talk about legal issues and stuff like that, and we need to take a break from working with each other, that's also fine. So that's also what this video will serve to do, is to help me make that decision. So yeah, because I don't have time for the drama or someone thinking I'm trying to steal their video game ideas or anything like that. It's like, yeah, so I'm trying to do publicity for Destin through YXO, and that's it. And then like help out. Oh, well, of course that's not it. Like help her get people, employees, all types of stuff, positive things outside of the nonprofit thing that will happen outside of them meeting each other through YXO or whatever. That's cool. But other than that, asking me about my anime and stuff, and then doing that, oh yeah, that's why I waited to do this video, because she tried to ask me about it while they were going to talk about Destin stuff, and she kept bringing up, no, I want to hear what you have to say, Vyke, about that ideal you had. Maybe it could be a collaboration or something you had going on, that anime you had, or something you had, a nice video game ideal. And I was like, oh, Namqodranx, that used to be called Namqodranx when I was a kid. I changed it to Namqodranx. Yeah, let's talk about it. But first, I will only feel comfortable talking about it if I have it for my records and I pre-record it and stuff. Is that okay? Yeah, sure, okay, cool. And I'm like, nah. So that's how this video started, and that's where we at, honey. So yes, okay. So see y'all later. Much love. I gotta go to work in here, then I gotta go to work out there. All right. See y'all later. Bye.